going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifatima Lafonum of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live Thursday morning edition, and you know what? I think we got a little bit of a topic to analyze. I'm going to say this as somebody who's coached for more than a New York minute. All coaches have tendencies, and every defensive coordinator tries to take advantage of it. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. As we've talked about this week in Lions Talk Live and a little bit last week as well, hey, when you come into the first 1, 2, maybe 3 games of this season, every defensive coordinator is going to be so prepared for that offense, and unless it's something they haven't seen, you got a new head coach, new OC, et cetera, that it does make it pretty dang difficult to do stuff because you've given somebody 2, 3, 6 months to prepare, go through film, etc. And I think we're going to be talking about that a little bit today, how that could be in play here with the Detroit Lions offense and Ben Johnson. Every week that starts passing, though, after week 1 and 2, though, it gets harder and harder because they didn't have so much time to prepare for you. They're preparing for the first 1 or 2 games. Well, real quick, though, before we get into that, as you guys may or may not know, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 50 subs away from hitting 8,000, so if you can help out with that, that'd be great. Also, if you would be so kind, take a half second of time and go ahead and hit that thumbs up, that like button. We try to get every video between 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. And if you're not new to YouTube, you probably understand it helps that particular channel out a ton. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, I want you to give me a call or shoot me a text. You see my number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let's just have a brief conversation, see what I can do to save you some effort, save you some anxiety, help you buy or sell new property. Can be vacant land, commercial property, maybe just a new home. Make the process a whole lot easier while putting a little extra ka-ching in your pocket and making you, hey, just enjoy the process of buying or selling property a lot smoother and without more stress. So, all right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our first segment of the day, and that's going to be 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now as we get ready for the weekend, and then obviously the big game at Arizona. 5 headlines. 3 Detroit Lions finish in top 10 for highest selling jerseys. This is from WILX. And yes, the Detroit Lions, we all know coming into the season, hey, one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and that's showing in merchandising sales. As number 3 on the list is Aiden Hutchinson. In case you wanted to know, number 1 is C.J. Stroud. Number 2 is Patrick Mahomes. And then we have a couple Lions coming in at 3 and 4. Aiden Hutchinson hit the wire at number 3, while Amon-Ra St. Brown was number 4. Joe Burrow 5, Jalen Hurts 6, Saquon Barkley was number 7, and then Jahmyr Gibbs was number 8 on the list. In case you were wondering, number 9 was Micah Parsons, and then 10, Brock Purdy to round it out. Lions, a big ticket around the nation, not just in Detroit, and you see that in these sales. So with that out of the way, let's go to the next one. And hey, Lions getting promising Amon-Ra St. Brown injury update. This is from Clutch Points. Clutch Points goes out to point out that yes, the star wide receiver for the Detroit Lions is doing okay. He's actually coming on out and making some noise for getting ready for this weekend. So it's all good stuff for the Detroit Lions as we expect him to fully recover, be on the field, and it does sound like it was just some cramping towards the end of the game. He did take some pretty good shots on that lower leg, so I get it, but it does appear that he's going to be right as rain and good to go come Sunday. All right, also on the Lions injury report, let's go ahead and pull this one on the screen just for you guys. Give me a moment. All right, there we go. And let's bring it up here. Hey, the Arizona Cardinals pretty healthy. They really only got a couple guys on the list, and that's defensive lineman Dante Stills. He's got a shoulder. He had limited participation. Guard Will Henderson, ankle. He was full participation. And same with their rookie wide receiver, Xavier Weaver, with an oblique injury, sort of like Amon-Ra had last year. Did not participate for the Detroit Lions. Anzalone, you guys know it. Still dealing with the concussion or the results of the concussion, the after effects. Terrion Arnold was out yesterday with an illness. Graham Glasgow, you guys heard me during the live cast and coverage of the game and then talk about it during the week. I didn't think he looked great at all by any stretch of the imagination in Sunday's game. I thought he really struggled, and it could be he was dealing with this knee injury. That's could be why they left him out of practice yesterday. Ife Melifanu, we covered this story a couple of weeks ago, said, hey, he had a bit of an Achilles tendon injury, and not to the point where it like fully ruptured or anything, but they were trying to aggressively help him recover from it to avoid any kind of surgery. He's still dealing with it. Looks like he's on, and I'm doing the math in my head, so don't hold me to it. He's on about week 4 or so he's probably near the tail end of that thing. And then Rakestraw, as we all know, during warm-up Sunday, literally MCDC said the injury happened with about 4 minutes before the cutoff for actives, inactives. So, I mean, they were really toting the line where they could deactivate him for the game. Yes, he's still dealing with that hamstring. Limited participation, Kirby Joseph with his back, and then Isaiah Williams, abdomen injury, the same one that kept him out of Sunday's game. But at least he's back on the field somewhat full participation. Probably good news here. Marcus Davenport. Amon-Ra, like I said, it was good to go. All right, back to the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions coach Hank Fraley on what went wrong on the screen pass versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This Detroit Free Press, Dave Burkett. So if you guys remember, Lions driving late in the game, they set up what appears to be a screen pass with the opportunity. It looks like it really has a chance to go and score. And if they would have, well, the Lions probably would have taken the lead and potentially won the game. Unfortunately, as we all also know, the screen pass did not work, and Hank Fraley actually breaks it down what went wrong on the play. And in short, Frank the Tank Ragnow and Graham Glasgow both of them go to block the same guy instead of one of them going to different defenders. If they both go to different defenders, I can't promise the Lions were going to score on it, but I think they would have been pretty dang close. If not, they probably would have made it at the least down to the 1 or 2 yard line. So it was a significant mess up. Hank Fraley goes through the logic behind why both guys went to the same guy, the miscommunications and all the problems that caused. But you know what? It's early in the season. A lot of that stuff happening on offense and defense, and not just for the Lions, for every team. But he does point out Frank the Frank, whatever. Fraley points out that, there's something they're working on because they are having some issues with some of the many new guys on the offensive line or playing in different spots where it's affecting some aspects of the run game, the pass game. But every week, you can probably tell it is getting better. All right, Detroit Lions, Levi Onwuzurike, healthy, happy, and playing well. This is from MSN.com. And there's a video I was going to play that goes with it where somebody's interviewing him, talking to Levi about it. But to be honest, the audio quality is so bad that I thought it wasn't even worthwhile. But in a nutshell, what we can say is from the story, they pointed out probably what you guys know, I know, and everybody else watching understands. He has done a real good job this season. He's come on out. He's been a force for us. He's been one of the better defensive linemen in the league, let alone for the Detroit Lions. This Detroit Lions front is looking more and more imposing for other teams. If Marcus Davenport comes on back and plays this weekend and is anything like he was week 1 against the Rams, I think there's an argument to be made. The Lions may just have the best defensive line in the NFL, especially if Levi Onwuzurike ends up being your 5th guy on that line. It means, man, rotation. You got bodies to throw out there, and we're still a couple weeks away from Broderick Martin returning from that knee injury. He gets out there. If he's anything as advertised in the preseason, that depth gets a whole lot better. All right, that's going to do it for 5 headlines now. Now, let's go ahead and get ready for the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. As you know, a lot of people were talking about it, whether it was national media, YouTube media, Lions fans everywhere, or whatever. But has the Detroit Lions offense been a little predictable to start the beginning of the year against the Rams? If you watch that live cast or the Bucs live cast, I know a lot of people in the comments section, myself included, felt like, man, this play is going to be this, or they're doing this here. And I can't say we were right 100% of the time, but I could say we were probably right 50 to 60% of the time. So my question to you guys is, if we're just average Joes watching from, TV in our house or wherever we may be watching it, at maybe a local pub, and we're figuring out at a 50 to 60% rate, what are you going to do if you're a defensive coordinator, or how likely, if you're a defensive coordinator, to have even more information and be correct on guessing what the Lions are going to do on this play, maybe 70, 80% of the time? Did you feel like when you were watching the Tampa Bay game that every time we went to the power I formation, the Bucs knew where to blitz and into what gaps to go to stop the Lions' run game? If you do, you would be correct. Did you realize that the Bucs shot the correct gaps 96% of the time? Let that sink in. If you go back and watch the replays and you do the analytics on it, there's only about 4 to maybe, you could argue, 5% of the time they guess the wrong gaps. That's a big tell, an alarming tell for anybody who's watching the game. Did you realize that when the Lions went to shotgun 3 receiver sets and they did a handoff, a run play to Gibbs or Montgomery, the Bucs were right nearly 80% of the time on guessing which gaps? So, like we talked about at the start of the show, it is something that defensive coordinators have months at the start of the year to prepare for the first couple games. You start getting to game 3, 4, 5, whatever, it's not the case, just because you don't have as much time to prep for those games as you did the first 1 or 2 of the season. It's my anticipation also, Ben Johnson's going to have to make some flexible changes to catch people a little bit more off guard. We haven't seen as much trickeration or some of the creative ways this year so far as we have the past prior seasons with Ben Johnson. That doesn't mean it won't come. That doesn't mean it won't happen again. It just hasn't happened yet. The other aspect is with the Lions offense, we all know they've had some real injuries on the offensive line that have limited that group's ability to play together in the preseason, whether it's in games or just, practices and scrimmages, etc. So it does take a little bit of time for the offensive line to get figured out and get right. I also think with the injuries to Graham Glasgow, Kevin Zettler, and now with Penei Sewell, that is also impacting things. Further exacerbating things is, and we talked about this all week, is Sam Laporta. He had that nasty hamstring injury through the preseason, and that really limited his conditioning, his explosiveness, route running, just getting on the same page with Goff and everybody else. But what have we seen from week 1 to week 2? Here's the positive side that I'll throw at you. I think you did see significant improvement out of the offense from week 1 to 2. I mean, heck, we did put up like 430 some yards. From a statistical standpoint against the Bucs, the Lions' offense and defense dominates the game. It's unfortunate, but we just didn't dominate the one score that aspect that matters, and that's the scoreboard. So I do believe, and I know some of you will ask, I do believe David Montgomery is going to probably get more runs this week than he did last week. I also think the 3rd or 4th wide receiver option for Detroit, whether that's Isaiah Williams, Khalif Raymond, Tim Patrick, I think that's going to make a big impact. You can see how Patrick, I'm just going to point on Tim Patrick for a second. You can see his impact on the offense and the play calling last week when he's out on the field. Yes, he doesn't know all the routes yet. Yes, he doesn't know the full playbook. And yes, the more I've rewatched that game with Tampa Bay, when the second pick for Jared Goff, when he's throwing it deep, a deep in route or deep post route over the middle of the field, that is for Tim Patrick. It's just they're on the wrong page, and that leads to that interception. So you guys have heard my thoughts on this. I think the Lions offense is pretty much set up for here on out where it should produce more and more. Some of you are probably going to ask me what I think Goff's going to do this weekend or who's going to put up the stats. I think Goff's going to have a pretty good game. The Cardinals do disguise a lot of their defenses. They do play a ton of zones, and they do blitz a ton. They're going to put some pressure on our offensive line without question. But if you can handle it, I think the Lions have the right personnel to really gobble up some yards against the Cardinals' defense. It all comes down to handling the pressure. If the offensive line and Goff can do that, then the Lions will feast this weekend. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to get my score prediction. So just wait for that particular video. But let's get over to the Duke Crew. You guys heard me talk about this now for about 5 or 6 minutes. I think the offense has been predictable. Give some credit to the defensive coordinators for having a game plan to limit us down. But I also think this offense is ready to start exploding and shining. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. As I scroll to the top of the screen, I see we've got about 100 comments in the channel, in the comment section, so it's going to take a minute to catch up. But let's get moving with it. Michael, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke Crew! Exclamation points! Superdome, Super Bowl, one pride, woo-hoo! And good morning to you too, Michael. Jason, Superdome or bust? I concur. Trey, what's good all? Question mark. Let's get this offense going again and scoring. Yeah, and I think we'll have a lot of that this weekend. I can't say we're going to score 1,000 points, but I think you're going to see some noticeable improvement on the offense. Moonscar, good morning. Duke Crew starting lineup, exclamation point. I guess we will see if Ben Johnson has what it takes to adapt. If he has been too predictable, yeah, he's going to have to make some changes, some adjustments. This is a big moment for him. It's a big moment for the Detroit Lions. If you can make those adjustments, you know what? You got a golden opportunity. The Arizona Cardinals are no joke. I think the Lions are the better team, but it doesn't mean the better team's always right. I do think we've got a pretty good coaching staff, great offensive weapons, great defensive weapons. I think this could be a trap game for the Arizona Cardinals. There you go. Let's see. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. I predict pain. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And I concur with your assessment. Quentin, great salutations. We good. We good this season, going to be special, but let's start scoring TDs and not field goals. Okay, yeah, and I agree with that. Put the 7s up on the board, not the 3s. All right, Moonscar, Ben Johnson was the tight end coach. MCDC was a tight end coach. Maybe it's how the tight end is used. And with Laporta still getting back to full strength, maybe that's our Achilles heel. Food for thought. No, I think you're pretty spot on with that, Moonscar. Last week, and I know we talked about it yesterday with Easy from Woodward Sports when he was on the show, I think Laporta was open more than he was the week prior. And some of that is just the type of coverages the Bucs elected to use versus the Rams. The other part is you can notice while he's still not getting great separation, Laporta that is, great separation in any sense of the word, it is better than it was against the Rams. So probably trending the right direction, getting a little bit more conditioning, getting healthier. I suspect he'll look even better this weekend unless there's some real setback. He starts getting another week or two in. He's probably near full strength, and that's going to put more pressure and exacerbate a lot of the zone coverages we're seeing because those linebackers now have to come up a little bit more to pick him up. They can't drop so much into, basically right now, in my opinion, they're all dropping about 6-7 yards off the line of scrimmage and daring a receiver or Laporta to go into the middle where they can just run up and smash him. That also means they're taking the intermediate routes away. And who goes there more often? Usually it's going to be St. Brown. That's one of his bigger areas. So the defenses know what they're doing. They're trying to really limit the Detroit Lions offense. And we'll get into how the Lions are going to probably get around that more and more with a few more questions. I'm going to guess other people are going to ask about it. Tori, good morning all. Crazy news yesterday about DC having to sell his house. It was. I did a quick video on it. The good thing is for Dan Campbell is the house sold in less than 24 hours and they were moved into their new house in less than 24 hours. But the only thing I'm going to say is in the day and age of internet sleuths and somebody who's willing to do something somebody else isn't, it's only a matter of time till somebody probably figures out his new address unless they, I guess, set up the purchase of the house of the sale with like a business account or something. They're going to have to do some stuff to mask it. It's unfortunate that this has happened multiple times for DC, but whatever happened, I don't know the full details. I only know speculation. The speculation is people actually, after the Tampa Bay game, went to his house, got into this gated community, and it wasn't just like a couple people. It was like a bunch of people to the point where I get it. If I'm his wife, the kids, or DC himself, you probably feel significantly threatened. Let it sink in. Whatever it was egregious enough where they put that house up for sale, got it sold, and moved the heck out of there within days. So, yeah, there are just knuckleheads out there, and I can't believe this is even happening. All right, JK, I'm calling for a brand new offense. Thank you, and good morning. I'll go with that. Voltron Force, greetings, salutations, everyone. Coach, how much do you feel someone like Tim Patrick can help the offense? I think Patrick can help quite a bit. So if you go back and watch like last year's, sorry to clear my throat, last year's team, and what we're seeing out of the Rams and the Buccaneers isn't new. It's just we haven't had that other option to really layer the zone coverage. You've heard me talk about we haven't really had somebody to pull the zone or extend it outwards towards the sidelines, get it out of the hashtags, or hash marks. But I think Patrick, among other people, can help out in that regard. He can work the middle of the field for sure, but he can also help pull over to the sidelines. If he does that or other players start doing that, Lions start utilizing that more, it will force those three backers in the middle, three defenders, I guess they're not all going to be backers, over the sidelines, which now opens up a little Laporta more and more for one-on-one against zone coverage, or St. Brown to work his primary routes where they're going to be, 5-7 yards deep, etc. So I think they all can help. Now, how much Patrick's going to help? I'm going to say a scale of 1-10. I think he's going to help around a 7. So pay attention to that. All right, Big D, guys, we are 1-1. Nobody worried. We got this. Goff going to come around, and Benny going to get it figured out. Promise. Exclamation points. Start worrying when we are 1-4, not after 2 games. Wide receiver got to start blocking again. Yeah, and there's some of that too. You guys may have already seen the stats. I've said before, Sam Laporta is a great receiving tight end. He is not a great blocking tight end. He's hopefully going to trend better. I thought towards the end of last year, his blocking got at least moderate, acceptable. But Sunday against the Bucs, he was the lowest rated blocking offensive lineman or tight end in the NFL. So could that be his conditioning's not there? Could it be he still has a hamstring injury somewhat and it's limiting him? All that could be true. What I can say is he's going to have to get significantly better, and he's not the only person. There's a lot of blame to go around for some things. Now, with all that being said, we are 1-on-1. We did put up over 400 yards of offense Sunday. We just didn't score touchdowns. All right, Big Eddie, greetings, salutations. I do feel the offense has been a little bland this year. Lots of room for upside, but yes, Johnson needs to open up the playbook a bit more, and I think they will. And again, the further you get away from the start of the year, where everybody had, just a gajillion months to prepare for your offense, it's going to put more and more pressure on those opposing defenses, because you really, I'm going to guess the Arizona Cardinals defense coordinator, he probably got ready for game 1 and 2. It's going to be hard for him to be as ready for us. So you're just going to roll out with what you do. You got 3 practices to get ready. Maybe in the Cards case, since they're home, they're 4, because we get it. Tomorrow, the Lions leave for Arizona. They'll probably get in a brief walkthrough tomorrow morning. So the Lions had, yesterday, today, and a little bit tomorrow to get ready for the Cards. Vice versa for the Cardinals. All right, Moonscar, not worried here. Offense is putting up yards. 1 game of bad red zone play calling lost us game 2, which history shows Goff typically doesn't win. Okay, I'll go with that. Yes, concur. John, Ben has has too many weapons. All he has to do is get back to the basics, run and set up pass game, and Monty is the key. Yeah, I think they did. We all get it. They try to throw the running game open, try to throw the ball all around, so you could open up or put more pressure on Tampa Bay to defend the pass first, to open up the run game. I wonder if they'll do that again. I'm going to anticipate they're going to get back to run first, pass second, but we'll have to wait and see. JK, Ben Johnson has a lot of work to do. He does. He's got some things to figure out. He's working on it. And I will say this. I have full faith that this coaching staff and this team will get things figured out. I have no doubt at the end of the year, we're still going to have 11, 12 wins, somewhere in that range. Just because we lose 1 game early, most teams have. Look across the league. The vast majority of the league is 1-1. All right, Moonscar, also 1 rookie getting PI calls that we have all seen worse PI not get called. Gifted Tampa Bay 4 downs at the 1-yard line. He hardly had the hands on the wide receiver. Yeah, and I said it during the live cast. You're going to call that. I have no problem with it as a coach. But don't come back on the first drive for the Detroit Lions and let Jameson Williams get mugged, nearly taken to the turf, and say, it's incidental contact. That's where I have the problem with it. As long as you're consistent, now everybody knows how to play. But when referees or officials become inconsistent like that, especially egregiously so, that's when I have a real big problem. All right, Papa Noel, I feel the offensive line has not performed well, and this is limiting the play calling. No, to a degree, I think you're right there, Papa Noel, and I'm not going to say it's just one person. Last week, I think it was a culmination of people. I do think Graham Glasgow already talked about it. He's playing hurt or injured, just not playing well. Penei Sewell, that might have been his worst performance in the NFL. Watching his blocking, his ability to drive, probably going to say this, it's probably tied to his ankle and some of the ankle injuries that he had last week. But they weren't alone. I mean, Kevin Zettler did not play his best. He didn't play bad, just not his best. And then Frank Ragnow, I thought, man, he played very, very badly by his standards, I should say. So you're spot on with that, I think, to a degree, 100%. I'd say, Jason, the Duke crew found my house, too. Bo Booth was playing guitar in my driveway. Broski's pet bear ate my cat. Hatman was drinking coffee. It was really, it was a reality, really experience. All right, there we go with that. And yes, hey, glad to have a Duke Crew party at your place. All right, a Moonscar offensive line in OT rammed it down the Rams' throat with the run. No Vitae, no Clancy, and we don't run straight up the middle in crunch time, question mark, dumb play calling. Yeah, I was surprised we didn't just go after them over and over and over again, even with Vitae in, but we didn't. The Rams, or excuse me, the Bucs, like I said earlier, they seem to know specifically where to blitz us and hit us on certain packages to an alarming rate. So some of that goes back on Ben Johnson. He's got to be less predictable in those situations. Maybe use that to our advantage to a degree. So, but early season stuff, hey, a lot of people got room for improvement. Ben Johnson, by all means, is going to have to improve some things. But I sounded good. Hey, nothing wrong with that then. Let's see, Jess, greetings, salutations. So what can we do to improve it? Question mark. Coach, you say the other teams are in tight on the middle of the field, so how do we bust them out of that? I guess the easy answer for me would be a couple things. One, I would use more combo routes or overloads against the zones because for the most part, both teams have played us zone, I'm going to guess like 80% of the time. So combo route. Can't talk, man. I'm going to put 2 or 3 guys stacked on one side of the line of scrimmage. You've seen just about everybody use this against us in both games. You're going to be able to clearly tell if it's zone or man and how they're going to adjust to it. Now, somebody run a quick, shallow crosser or just beyond the defensive line. Somebody go in the second layer, 5, 6, 8 yards deep. The other person be the delayed route. The first 2 guys go, I'm running behind them and just a quick out route. The zone can only do so much against that when you overload one side, unless you're going to shift everybody to the other side of the zone to match up with it. If you do that, now your running back or running backs out of the flats to that weak side can take advantage if people leave that side. I mean, you can do a lot of different things like that. I'm surprised the Lions haven't done some of that because, to be honest, their zone offense so far this year has been a little vanilla. Moonscar, on to Arizona, 100%. I agree. You can't worry about the pass. You got to fall forward. Perryman, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew! Exclamation point. Quote: If you don't think you were born to run, you're not only denying history, you're denying who we are. Okay, I'll go with that, and thank you for that. Let's see, Bo, cats like us, baby, we were born to run, 100% there. Baby, we were born to run. David, I understand Ben Johnson needs some accountability for the offense, but shouldn't Goff take some as well? Yeah, you got a symbiotic relationship there. You got Ben Johnson making the calls, and then Goff's got to play better. He has not played well at the start of this year. Some of it could be on the offensive line. Some of it could be on the play calling. Some of it is on him, though. We've all noticed he's throwing some skip passes, some passes that could have been picked off. He's got to pick it up a little bit here. Brent, good morning, Duke Crew. I'm not worried yet because the first 2 games looked like preseason games. Shake off the rust and beat the Cardinals! Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. And I'll go with that, Brent, and I concur 100%. Jason, I fully expect a bounce back. Daniel Thomas predicted a 37-24, I'm assuming, win over the Cards. What do you say, Dan? I say Daniel Thomas knows all, sees all. I'm going to say, let's see what tomorrow's show has to say about his grand prediction, if there's any updates for it. France, good day all. Lions are going to be okay. The offense looked much better in week 2 than week 1. I feel it will improve even more this week. I agree. It did look significantly better. I mean, if we would have did in week 1 what we did in week 2, we would have beat the Rams probably by 20-some points. Didn't happen, but hey, the trend is your friend. Follow that trend on offense. So some along. I don't care how we do it. Just win, baby. 100%. End of the day, win by win. Win by a million. Just win, baby. Stephanie, what do you got? Good morning, boys! Exclamation point. I have faith in Ben to get things right. We haven't been perfect, but we did have over 400 yards last week. We got this! Exclamation points. We did. We had all the drives you can want, all the results you can want, except we didn't score touchdowns. See, JK, if we are tied or ahead on points, please take the 3 points if we are in Bates' range. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Anytime you get an opportunity to put points on the board, you take it. Clark, woo! Exclamation points. We got this weekend by 10. Calling it now. Goff has 3 touchdowns. Man, I would take that in a heartbeat. Rich, with all the talent on our team, there is no excuse for Ben Johnson. Run the ball and set up the pass. I think they'll do just that. So we'll wait and see. But I agree. I think they're going to have to use the run first, set up the pass, establish dominance on the ground game. Hookadoo, good morning, coach of the Dew Crew. Roar. Oops. And there goes my screen. Hold on a second. Sometimes things happen in the Dew house. There we go. So, all right. Well, right back to it. All right. Let's see. Roar Detroit. Manberg. Greetings and salutations, Scooby-Doo crew, and back at you. Hookadoo, our offense did pretty good until they got to the red zone. Then they would mess up. Yeah, I agree with that. Move the ball very well between the 20s, just not inside the 20. See, Hookadoo, coming unglued 100%. Phil, go Tigers. Woo! Yeah, somebody let me know. I forgot to check this morning how they did, but I'm guessing they're still doing pretty well. Detroit Zoo, it's a combination of things that need to have less pressure on Goff. Yeah, and some of that, the offensive line's got to perform better. We talked about that already, so I won't beat it up, but yes, they got to do better. Phil, 1-4 into the bye. Let's hope not. Ozzy, good morning, Dan and the Dew Crew. Hey, Coach, do you think Goff will get back on track this week? And question mark. And when do you think we will see the black jerseys? Question mark. Blackout is 4 field goal lines, so I can at least answer right now. The black jerseys, that's going to be Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks. So pay attention to that. As far as Goff, yes, I think he's going to continue to get better and better. Week 1, not very good. Week 2, better, in my opinion. Yes, he had the 2 picks. I'm going to say this, though. The first pick, it should not have been a pick. It should have been a pass interference. I think we all get that. The second pick, hey, there's just a clear miscommunication between him and Tim Patrick. Yes, there were other passes. I know some people point out that could have been picked off, but every quarterback has that. So I could say whether it's Dan Marino, Warren Moon, or Jim Kelly, they all throw passes that could have been picked. They just weren't. It's like Matthew Stafford week 1. He had 4 dropped or could have been interceptions, but they weren't interceptions. All right, Hookadoo. Dan, are you going to do the live game this week against the Cards? Go Lions. Probably not this weekend, guys, just so you know. No, we're doing a thing with a bunch of the neighbors to watch the game, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a broadcast. I'll update you guys as quick as I can. Phil, for the teams that is healthier than the teams we are playing, this is really embarrassing. Hey, it happens, man. I mean, backup players play too, so it happens. Bus driver, good morning, Dew Crew, back at you. Michael, hey, Coach, good morning to all, and back at you, Michael. Hopefully you have an outstanding morning. Phil, we need a Lamborghini giveaway, Dan. Make Jen happy with some space in the garage. Unfortunately, there are no more Lamborghinis in this house. Let's see. Celine 313, good to see you. It's been a minute, my friend, since I've seen you. Offense is getting very predictable. All of our receivers eat in the middle, and we only have one deep threat to worry about. Yeah, and that's where I think, Celine, that Tim Patrick may help out, among other options, but I think we will see him utilize more in the offense. And with his roles, hopefully not only being over the middle of the field, more towards the sideline, I'm hoping that expands the zone coverage that we've mostly seen in the first 2 weeks. One funky, like I said, all off season, I hope the team don't watch what the Bears did against Lions defensively. Yeah, and I get your thoughts on that because that's basically what we're seeing over and over. And I think as teams or as the Lions get more exposure against it, they'll make some adjustments like they did last year. I'd say bus driver, hopefully I'll be on more often. I got promoted to operations supervisors. Congrats on that, man. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Well, man, hopefully you can come in and watch the show and then get some rest, man, because that's a bit of a shift for you. But congrats again, my friend. Phil, kayaking, there you go. Celine, I think these defenses know our, quote, landmarks. Scotty was talking about it and getting easier to know our routes and where the receivers will be. Yeah, they've probably picked up on some tendencies for sure. And again, give the Bears credit a year ago. Give these defensive coordinators credit for picking up on this stuff. But you're also, I'm going to assume Ben Johnson's going to make some adjustments. Let's see, Silver Surfer, good morning, Coach and everyone. Season is going to be a roller coaster, but I believe it will be fun, 100%. And I can say, I get it. People get upset when you lose, like the nonsense with the, DC's house and stuff like that. I can tell you just from watching, being a YouTube content creator, when the Lions win, man, the view counts, just skyrocket. When they lose, like this week, man, they just plummet. There are some people, I get we are all very emotionally invested in this team and franchise, but there are some people that react to it obviously very poorly when the Lions lose, and they take it to, they really take it to heart. Bus driver, good morning. Silver Server, Arizona looked good, and Murray uncatchable. I believe the Lions put up a good fight. I believe so too. They're going to have to do some things to limit him, and I guess what I would say is, you guys already know this, I'm a very aggressive coach. I'd be sending the house after him all the time. I'm going to put those corners on the island and say, hey, you got some opportunities for some interceptions here. Go get them, but we're not going to let them scramble around and scramble out of the pocket. Let's see. Phil, is Glasgow a natural left guard? I would say he's more of a right guard, in my opinion. But great question, Phil. Is he being forced into an unnatural position? Probably to a certain degree. Maybe that's adding or exacerbating some of his growing opportunities, learning opportunities. But yes, he's not looked great there this year. Server, morning bus driver, 100%. Robert, greetings and salutations. Same to you, Robert. Bo, GG doesn't look comfortable at left guard. No, I would agree. Graham Glasgow is going through a learning opportunity. Miles Marker, good morning, coach. Same to you, my friend. Phil, agreed. Bo, Miles Marker, good morning, coach and crew. And congrats, bus driver Brent. 100%. Yeah, congrats on the promotion, my friend. Bus driver, thanks, Miles Marker. Jason, fake punt on our own 20 was anything but predictable. You are not incorrect on that one, but that would have came down to DC and the special teams coach, Skip, making that call. It wouldn't have anything to do with Ben Johnson. But you are right. That was not predictable. Dale, greetings and salutations. Drew Cruz, same to you, Dale. Hopefully you're having a great one. Dimitri, good morning, Dan and Lions fam. What up, Dale? Exclamation points. Woo! Give me one, Dan. You want one? All right. You know what? I'll give you one. I'll give you, you guys always like Sheila, so. There you go. Both Bucks had our number. They did, man. But again, statistically, throughout the entire game, we dominated that game other than the scoreboard. Let's see. Hookadoo, morning, Miles Margaret. Bus driver, what kind of bus company are you working for? Question mark. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's a question I can't answer. Let's see. Motown Mitch, I don't think Levi Onzarike is our number 5 D lineman. Right now, he's our number 2. Right now, according to the numbers at the moment. No, I agree with you. Now, whether or not they'll promote him and put him in the starting lineup, that's what I wonder. They might, maybe they should, but I will have to see what the coaches do this weekend. Phil, if Tampa was the right gap, 80% of it was not a guess. Yeah, if they were in the right gaps, 80% of the time it wasn't a guess. No, I agree with you. They knew when we were doing something and basically how to shut it down. Because you can remember, we did hit them with some runs. We did get some big yards. There were a lot of times we were hit for a loss or no gain because they were shooting the right gaps. They do have some fast linebackers, but they knew how to open up the holes for those linebackers to hit. Dale, Johnny Gaz was a great guest while back, last week. Hopefully we can be a regular guest. All of your guests have been very good. Thanks for that, Dale. I'll ask Johnny. He's in the chat a lot of times. I'll ask him if he wants to come on again. I know we've got trying to think. Kurt Steele tomorrow. We got Hutch Jr. Saturday. Maybe I'll see if Johnny wants to come on Sunday morning for the pregame or something like that. Let's see. Miles Hookadoo, good morning. For some reason, the only chat message I see here by you is "come unglued." You're referring to yourself? Could be. Joseph Hardball stealing plays? Maybe. Could be, man. Lions King DC have the blueprint on Mr. Jared Goff. It's over for Goff. Soon it's hooker time. It might, hey, anything is possible in the world of professional wrestling and often does happen. Let's see, bus driver, Indian Trails. We go to the Michigan Flyer from East Lansing to DTW. To D2A2 from Detroit to Ann Arbor. Dax, Detroit to DTW, plus state runs from Detroit to St. Ignace over to Milwaukee and Duluth. All right, man, you're all over the place, my friend. JK, have Donovan Peoples-Jones play for blocking routes? It could be. Bus driver plus charters. There you go. Let's see. Hookadoo, laughing out loud, no marker. I hardly said we come unglued in why the red zone. Laughing out loud. Okay. Phil, when you're predictable, bend, blink, break, defense works great. Bend but don't break defense. Tampa did to us what we usually do others. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that fully. Let's see. One funky. if that ball was to Tim Patrick, if he runs the right route, he probably goes to the hospital. That might also be true. He probably would have got laid out. But again, it's hard for me to say. I'm speculating that it was maybe a miscommunication on the routes. Now, MCDC says we are very close offensively. My big concern is Kyler Murray. I agree. He's going to be a tough quarterback to defend, like he will be for every NFL team. What I'll say is there's certain things I would do to contain him and try to put pressure on him and get the ball out of his hands. Yes, he can throw it. Yes, he can run, but I don't want him to be able to do both. I see Ellen Rose. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What's with it with the Tampa Bay Bucks? ? This person from Kentucky don't have NFL experience, but his using a joystick or a video, something like PlayStation 5. The Bucks, hey, they knew what to do. As far as if you mean Mayfield, yeah, he really juked out Rodrigo. But hey, I didn't think Mayfield had a great game. I thought he had a good game, but it was good enough to win. Lions had great stats, but it wasn't good enough to win. So sometimes you just got to score more points than the other team. Miles Barger, I see and agree, said, laughing out loud, hookadoo. There you go. Phil, like button, please. Help the channel. Yeah, if you guys can, take a real quick moment of time. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. It all helps out a lot. Hookadoo had said, slap my face. My typing skills is not that great this morning. It happens, man. It happens. See, Ryan, hopefully still installing a new playbook. Could be. It could be that as well. Phil, it is a great any morning. Is it great any morning, Hookadoo? Laughing at Hookadoo, says Phil. Big D, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you, Big D. See, Gary, good morning all. Grip for life, ! Ben was predictable against the Bucks, but that wasn't Ben. Whoa, that wasn't our offense. Not sure what he saw on tape to have Goff throw 55 times. It's not their game. No, and I get, and I fully agree with you, Gary. I guess from what DC said, they were going to try to throw the running game open. I hope they get away from that. You guys, if you're watching the live streams, you also know I absolutely hate it when they go 0 running backs in the backfield and leave Goff out there because, man, it just seems like it never works to me. I'm not a fan of tilting or tipping your hand that, hey, there's 0 chance it's going to be a run here. Dimitri, let's Detroit, let's go. Oh, yeah, and I agree with you there. See, Hookadoo, is that an insult, Phil? Let's hope not. Don Burr, I'm not actually worried. Ben Johnson will adapt. He's always ahead of the curve. He will just reinvent himself. And I agree he will do a good job. So I agree with you, Don. See, Lions King, Goff has outlived his usefulness with his fake wham block, run, pass. Don't worry anymore. Okay. Lynn Rose, Coach Dan, AL cheat tools should not be NFL to crack teams playbook. Hey, somebody's always trying to cheat, man. Somebody's always trying to get an advantage. It's part of sports. It's part of coaching. I was joking with somebody yesterday because, like, the team I coach, we're going to do some scrimmages with some other teams, just get ready for basketball season. And somebody was like, well, you play this one team in the regular season. You okay with playing them? I was like, man, I've coached for 35 years. If you don't know, like some of my playbook by now, you're just not trying because, I just assume everybody knows it. You still got to stop it, though. Don Burr, Coach Dan, there you go. How you doing, Donnie Burr? Good to see him this morning. Phil, laughing out loud. No, love you, Hookadoo. Dimitri, get the ball to Tim Patrick and we will win. We'll probably do that. I'm guessing at least to some extent. Joseph, okay, are you saying a bunch of people were in his house? A bunch? It's, and I wasn't there, so I can only say what's being reported. It sounds like there were a number of people, like a posse that came there together. Some of this I'm getting from a longtime Lions Talk Live member, the person who first tipped me off to the story, Brother Ken. But yeah, it does sound like there were a number of people that showed up. My question is, if that's a gated community, where's the security there? But hey, I can also tell you the gated community security isn't like, the Army. It is, you can probably get around it if you want to. All right, Dr. Troy, I'm not putting this on Ben Johnson. This is on Goff. Every missed pass, someone was wide open. Please review the game. No, I agree with you. I think it's a combination of things. Goff, like I said earlier, Dr. D, he's got to play better. Ben Johnson, I would also say maybe not so many screen passes, especially within such an aggressive linebacker core or secondary that's coming up and playing the run in the red zone. Joseph, Goff called 27 rushes. Okay, there we go. Lions King, Goff play action pass has been destroyed. Don't work any longer. Okay. Let's see, Dimitri, Don Burr, what up, though? Don Burr, Dr. Detroit, would you say it's 50-50? That could be. Yeah, I would say, yeah, you could maybe go somewhere around there. Jerry at Joseph, Ben Johnson calls the plays. This is true. Bus driver, let's see, keep using J-Mo and slants and drag routes early to make the cornerbacks play tighter and open them up for double moves on a vertical route. Yeah, that's one thing I have been surprised with, that they haven't used him on any shallow crossers, forcing people to chase him. Maybe they will in time. I mean, again, it's only been 2 games this season, so we'll have to wait and see. Don Dimitri Flintstone, 100%. Let's see, Jerry, yes, Jerry. Or see, Joseph, yes, Jerry. JK, league figured out Goff himself up. Could be. Let's see if he can outfigure them now. See, Ken, what do crew in coach? What's up? Hey, how you doing, Key? Happy Thursday. Did you hear the blasphemy that came from Coach Belichick claiming that the Lions are enjoying their, quote, fruit of their labor from Matt Patricia? I did see that. And, I would say there's probably absolutely no truth to it. I'd say Dr. Troy, no, or at all. Every single incomplete pass, there was a player wide open. He didn't even look at it. There's probably, a very good symbiotic relationship between both of them and why things haven't gone better. Jerry, Dr. Detroit, the Lions should never throw the ball 56 times in a single game. That is on Ben Johnson. That I would probably agree with. Dale, personal safety is priority number 1. Glad MCDC was able to move so quickly. Family concerns can cause distractions on the job oftentimes. Hopefully MCDC can maintain football focus this week. Yeah, you're not wrong. And those same fans that, did this stuff, I hope they understand you're now forcing the main guy to take a lot of time away from his job to address his family's concerns. So if things aren't the greatest this weekend, you probably got to look at those fans and blame them. Let's see, one funky Jerry Goff audibles. That they do have audibles. Let's see, Miles Key up. Yep, Belichick getting deluged. Yeah. Let's see, Lions King Jameson Williams can't take the top off Goff. Can't hit him deep in stride. He did think about this, Lion King. He did hit him. What was it? Sunday, on a 50-yard bomb, and then the week before he hit him on a couple deep bombs. So he has thrown, I thought, the deep ball fairly well. Number, okay, Dr. D, I'll take a look at the all 22. Yes, I'll take a deep dive into that. See, Moonscar Blade, Dr. Troy, do I need to go back and watch the replay? But the view from above is a lot easier than the view from the field with defenses coming at you in your face. That's also true. We can all sit back when we're cozy and comfy and have no worry of a 340-pound guy slamming into us. I mean, that's why there's really only so many good quarterbacks at the NFL level. The ability to be able to play at a decent level, let alone a super level at the NFL, just doesn't happen often. Think about this. There are half the teams in the league looking actively to replace their quarterback. All right, Dr. Detroit, Goff throws over the middle and not too much along the sidelines. Just another limit by our quarterback. Could be. Dunk Kong, we cannot play that Goffle ever again. No, we can't. I see what you did there. I thought you did a good job there, Donkey. Moonscar, and I believe Goff has to take some blame no matter what he saw. Yeah, he's accountable. You're the quarterback. Right or wrong, you are going to take heat. You're going to take praise. Dr. Troy, that's true, Moonscar. I get that, but he found those guys last season. He did. Jerry, what do you got? At one funky fan, yes, Goff has the option to audible like every other quarterback in the league. It has nothing to do with Ben Johnson's play calling. This is true. Dr. Troy, I'm not panicking. I'm just saying stop protecting Goff. He has been bad for 2 games. So in his time in Detroit, 2 out of his worst 6 games in Detroit have been at the start of the season. So you're not wrong, Dr. Troy, from that standpoint. Key, Miles Barr, yeah, he's been getting like this since Tom Brady left him. Maybe it's early signs of dementia. Let's hope not. Maybe. Agreed. Let's hope not. Dr. Troy, absolutely, Goff can change the play at the line, so I'm just not putting this on a OC. Goff is a vet. He is a vet. He is a vet at this point. Duncan, yes, Goff has played like stuff. Yes, he has. Dr. Troy, the O-line is made more for the run than 55 pass games. Yeah, I would agree with that. They're probably more constructed for one side than the other, at least currently. Jerry, Dr. Detroit, so Goff should have changed everything at the line of scrimmage, ? That doesn't even make any sense. This isn't Madden. Quarterbacks don't audible every play in real life, all right? Justin, send coach death threats is ridiculous. Who the skip are these people? Get a life. That's the problem, man. I can only tell you from my vantage point, having run a YouTube channel or coached, in different levels, it happens. Some fans do go over the top. Let's see, Dr. Detroit, in my opinion, Goff just needs to slow down them happy feet and find what the defense gives him, and we are good. Yeah, but some of that, Dr. D, I would say this is why you guys have heard me talk about, at least to some degree, playing these guys in the preseason. So a lot of these, learning opportunities, shaking the rust off, whatever you want to say, are handled then and not now. In my opinion, if you would have played the starters a quarter the first preseason game and then a half in the second one, we're probably 2-0 right now. Boo, let's see. Good morning, Dan of the Duke Crew. Thanks for all you do. Anytime, my friend. Thanks for being here and part of the show. Key, I think we just need to take a deep breath as Lions fans. Trust me, I was so messed up where I did not want to watch another NFL highlights even to this day. None of the starters didn't play this preseason. Yeah, I agree with you there. Agreed. Jerry, Dr. Detroit, good luck trying to audible every play on the road in Arizona. That's going to be a challenge for sure. One funky, when you change the play, it's called the OC's fault or it's quarterbacks. There you go. Chuck Cheese, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Good morning to you, Mr. Cheese. How you doing today? Let's see, Don Burr, one funky, I would say it's the quarterback's fault on audible. Okay. Key, I think the Lions will start looking a bit more efficient around week 3 to 4. Yeah, that messed me up. I also get that with the Reds, with Red Wings, speaking of teams, definitely need to stay. Go Tigers. Yeah, somebody let me know how the Tigers are doing. JK laughing. One funky. Don, so why are so many people blaming Ben when we saw Goff audible a bunch of times? That I can't answer. Bo, Murray's lurking in the shadows, Coach. Probably. Everybody's always lurking in the shadows. Kurt Sale, what up, though? And wow, Murphy's Law. Yeah, Murphy's Law indeed. How you doing there, Kurt? Michael, Tigers 1, thanks for that. Tigers number 1, okay, thank you. Jerry, not playing preseason is a lame excuse. They still had full training camps. There's no excuse for the sluggish start. Most teams only play their starters a half a game during the preseason anyways. Yeah, no, I get that, Jerry, but here's my thinking. There's nothing wrong with your thoughts or my thoughts, just my thoughts. If everybody else isn't playing them, do I now give my team a big advantage by playing them? It may not seem like much, but we could probably all agree that the Bucks game ultimately comes down to 2 to 3, maybe 5 plays. If I've got a lot more rust shaken off my team by having played them, do we now have 1 to 2, 3, maybe 5 plays that we wouldn't have executed because we didn't play in the preseason? At least that's my thoughts. And again, I could be totally wrong, but that's at least my logic. Let's see, Don Bird, one funky, good question. I think Ben will adjust, and I also think a good head coach will inverse, maybe veto some calls. 55 pass plays is ridiculous. I was surprised by the total for sure. Bo Phil, I like the HBSC HB strat. Okay. Creative idea. Need Iffy back. Probably another week or 2 is my guess there, Creative. See, Key, I would have October as in October in the D if the Tigers make the playoffs. We have the Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, and Lions all playing at the same time. That would be dope. It would be, man, and I hope they can pull it off. Moonscar, congratulations, bus driver. You're one of my top 4 favorite Lions fans' names, Brent. There you go. Joseph laughing. Don Burr, I have a feeling we are going to show out Sunday evening. Yeah, I think we are, man. I think we're going to show up. One funky. Don, next question. Why can't you ask your elite paid quarterback to pass the ball? That I don't know. Brunt laughing at Moonscar. Jerry Dumber, I agree. Creative idea. Sterling Thomas will cover JMO. This is true. And hey, Sterling Thomas, the former Lion, got let go. He's had a pretty good turnaround over there in Arizona. You heard MCDC talking about him yesterday. It was a tough thing for them to let him go, but give the kid credit for keeping things moving. Let's see, Joseph Goff is fine. Just some hate. It could be. Don Burr, one funky. We all know Goff isn't elite. He's good, but not elite. But 55 times passing is ridiculous when the running game is elite. It's usually tough for a quarterback to throw that many passes because ultimately you're going to make some bad reads. You're going to make some bad things happen. When you put the ball in the air, the 3 things can happen, and 2 of them aren't good. Let's see, Chuck E. Cheese, go Sheila. Go Sheila, go. Woo! I give her so much credit for building this for us. 100%. She's done a great job. I think Glasgow moving back to right guard might be one of the O-line changes MCDC was meaning in the presser the other day. Could be. And then maybe you're moving Zettler to the left guard. See, Jerry Don Burr, all facts. Let's see, one funky. Don, you and I know it, but so many people think he is. Yeah, I don't think Goff's elite. I've talked about it before. I think he's somewhere on a given day, he can be anywhere from 15 to 8, somewhere in that range. So he can do a lot of good things with him, but he does have some limitations. Thomas, just got your guys. Is it true Coach Campbell had to move because of threats? Yeah, it would appear so. It would appear so. If that is true, the Detroit Lions fans, the ones that did this are absolutely despicable, but it does not surprise me. No, I mean, hey, one of the great things about our franchise is how invested people really are into the product on the field. It's not like some of the West Coast teams, or maybe you could even say South teams. People here live and breathe for the Detroit Lions. But as you're alluding to, Thomas, it does also mean sometimes when things don't go well, people also take that very, very personally. Jerry, Patrick Mahomes shouldn't be throwing the ball 55 times. No NFL quarterback should throw the ball 55 times in a game. It's probably not a sustainable philosophy. Let's see, Miles Marker, Indian Trails buses at Bus Driver Brent. I've seen that on the bridge heading to the UP many times. Next time, I'll wave hello. There you go. Thomas, Jerry, you nailed it. Thomas, if we don't control the ball with our running game in Arizona, we will lose! Exclamation point. Murray right now is smoking, and the offense is struggling. And her offense is struggling. I want to be wrong here, but Cardinals win. Let's hope you're wrong. Let's hope you're wrong, my friend. See, Miles Marker, Chuck E. Cheese. Yes, I'm with you. Sheila made this all possible. It all began with her. Chuck E. Cheese, what idiots going to DC's house? Really, what's wrong with people these days? I swear, man. Yeah, it's a good question, my friend. See, Don Burr, one funky. I know exactly what you're saying and doing. Okay. Bus driver, yeah, I was doing the East Side Ignatz routes, Detroit to St. Ignatz. Okay. Chris, the Desert Hobbit King has like warp speed. He's like impossible to catch. I'm thinking, what kind of plan have the geniuses come up with to spy on a Skylar Murray? We'll have to wait and see. You guys heard my thoughts already, what we should do. Bus driver Brent going up to 75 to 23. Okay. David, good morning. Duke Crew. Lions 2-1 after this week. Let's go. I hope you are right, my friend. I'm predicting that you're right. One funky. Just doing what I do, bud, and that's questioning what I see until see, just like I did when Stafford was here. Yeah, no worries with that. Thomas, smash the like all. Yes, if you would, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Miles Margaret, drones ignore gates. Maybe. Let's see, Chuck E. Cheese. It's not all Goff's fault. Ben Johnson calls plays, stupid screen plays, but nonetheless, Goff did play average though. Yeah, he has not played great at the start of the year by any stretch of imagination. I think we can all agree on that. He can play better. Let's see, Don Bird, Detroit 33, Arizona 20. I like the way you're thinking. Chuck E. Cheese, maybe pressure was coming. That's why he didn't see him. But to get pressure, that's right. But we do get pressure, Oh, yes, I agree with that. Chuck E. Cheese, he hit him right in the breadbasket. You don't know what you're looking at in the wrong game. Okay. Don Bird, Davenport, Reader, Hutchinson, Aleem, Levi. Man, I see a big day for our front. I hope so, man. You just can't let Kyler Murray escape the pocket. Key, let's see, Don Burr, I see you're keeping our team defensive average up to 20 points per game with that prediction. If the Lions can keep this up, we'll be a top 3 defensive team in the league. If not, number 1, we'll see. No, I agree with that. If you can do that, yeah, you're going to present a lot of opportunities for us to win. Chuck E. Cheese, sick of the blame and hate when we don't win. Scrutinize, I guess, but such hate is crazy. Sit back and enjoy the ride. 2 weeks in a row, all quarterbacks combined have a record low in yards. Experience, yeah, I see what you're saying, and yeah, I agree. The NFL right now, hey, some defensive coordinators have found some stuff out. Everybody's on board with it. A lot of it, as I've said, I think is the zone coverage, the 2 high safeties, and the 3 underneath. It's not just the Lions facing it. It is almost the entire league. If we watch, Philadelphia's game, if you watch Atlanta's game, whoever, it is the vast majority of the defenses employing the same system. It's something that really hasn't been used, in my opinion, since the 80s or maybe you could say early to mid-90s. But a lot of the offensive coordinators right now don't have experience against it. They're learning on the fly. Can't 17 quarterbacks under 200? Yep. Let's see. Don, Key, pray. I really think it's possible getting that kinks out on both sides of the ball. Let's hope so. T-Bone Lokes, what do you got? No way those are real Lions fans. Probably Packers. Could be. Maybe the Packers came to town. Chuck E. Cheese, Tigers are half a game back from wild card. That's awesome, man. Sparker, good morning. Kurt Steele. See, William, it's the beginning of the season. People are overreacting. We just need to get on the same page. Everything will be fine. I think you're right with that, man. The more the season moves forward, the more the reality of your team is revealed. So I think you're on the right line of thinking there, William. I think this week we should see improvements on both sides of the ball, but that's true with other teams, not just ours as well. See, Great Lakes, good morning, Coach and Dew Crew. The Camp Bill sitting. Okay, I'll go with that. See, situation sounds fishy. Any confirmation? It's been confirmed. Again, I can tell you it is public record. If being a realtor, it's easy for me to get after it. An offer was accepted on his house within 24 hours of it being listed. I can't tell you what house he bought. I can tell you he's fully moved out of his current house into his new home because media reports, news agencies in Detroit are reporting that part. Key, Don Burr. Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. Were Cardinal fans coming to me and the comment section, the Lions-Cardinals preview clip, and I've never seen a fan base that took up for our Lions team. I'm glad you brought that up, Key, because I think it was the Lions Cards, NFL preview that they do. There were a lot of Tampa Bay fans saying, hey, do not overlook this Lions team. They understand they got one. They also said, hey, some things went our way. I thought they were very complimentary in that video's comment section, that they thought Detroit's the real deal. So it's cool that I think other teams realize what we have here, other fan bases, and not just being homers saying, hey, you stink, Tampa Bay rules, Lions drool, or whatever, stuff like that. Bo, happy trails to y'all. All done, dusted. See y'all tomorrow. See you then. We'll see you then, Bo. Phil, good day, everyone. Thanks, Dan, for your hard work. Anytime, my friend, as you know. Key, Don Burr, I've never seen two teams that's more nervous for each other's team. Cardinals fans were with saying that we will beat them. Lions fans were nervous that the Cardinals could win. All right. Phil, shootings at tailgates, threats to the coach. Sheesh. You're not wrong there. A creative idea. You saw the Raiders' impact. Watch out. Davenport will get 2 sacks this week. I'm down with that. Phil Jones can't ignore shotguns. They're true. Detroit Zoo, what do you got? How long would you let Arnold make mistakes before bringing in Vildor, asking for someone else? I'd say I'm probably at this point just going to let him ride unless it gets really bad, just because you understand every week he should get better as he gets more experience. He's got a lot of good aspects to his game, but like any rookie corner, they're going to get ate up for a while. So as long as I don't feel like emotionally it's affecting him, I'm probably letting him go. Key, creative idea. Man, if all three play as in Davenport, Reader, and Hutch coming up with that monster Madden video game type, then Murray is going to have a tough time. I hope so, man. I hope so. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get out of your hair, let you get over to some of the other content creators out there. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so, making that march for 8,000, about 50 subs away. If you would be so kind as you're checking out, hit the thumbs up button, hit the likes button. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, go enjoy your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.